We will talk about Corey Holcomb tonight because that's what we do. This is the Stay Dangerous, most dangerous show in America. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to call yourself that if you're afraid to talk about topics? I don't see that as being, those two things are not compatible. Being afraid of a subject and being dangerous, totally opposite. So we will definitely get into that. My name is Tim Black. If you're new here, we do this on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tonight, we're going to break down why people are turning away from the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and the Republican Party and the Republican Party. And so we're going to get into that. People say, you don't say enough about Republicans. I don't think you watch me enough to know, to be honest. Shout out to my moderators. It's time for the moderators. Are we in the building? Yes, we are. Well, let's get right into the Corey Holcomb piece. Let's do an update on Corey.
Everybody is called a media firestorm. My voice, I'm shocked. I didn't know. My voice got so powerful that the media, not bloggers, not fat girls with YouTubes, not busters who buy cigarettes 1, 2, 3 at a time. We ain't worried about them. They weren't never the problem. What it is, we have mass media trying to shut down the voice of Corey Holcomb in the 5150 show, and of course, the bloggers who are envious of what we do are going to join in. Ever since TMZ has gave a one-sided version of what happened, it then got to the point where even a man like me, who I don't walk around living in fear, but I fear for my life now because I see what has been said about me, and they are desperate to bring me down because the word pedophile has been thrown in the mix. And let me tell you something. This is deep. I am no pedophile. I have never been accused of being a pedophile. I have never had charges of being a pedophile. This is something that's coming from the mass media, TMZ. Ever since they said what they said, I have been, they trying to get at me for real. Let me tell you something, what they do.
Hold tight, guys. I'm going to be honest, man. Anybody who made an assertion without any evidence or something that's that dire, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you open yourself up to a lawsuit by doing that, man. I didn't even talk about that last time I did the content. I saw poetic. I saw some people that put that out there, and they used a comedy routine. Hold on a second, Johns. Hold on. The people that put that out there, they used a comedy routine as clips of Corey Holcomb making jokes, talking about Amsterdam, talking about other things. And when I saw it, I said, okay, I see the play. Because once upon a time, like, there are people that use dark humor, right? And they say things in that humor. That's part of the comedic genre. Like, there are people that make very disgusting, weird, crazy, I don't know, man, maybe not so much in black comedians, but definitely in and I don't mean to be stereotypical, I'm just keeping it real, Johnson. There are white comedians out there that joke about all types of crazy shit, and it happens all the time. I think a lot of times we are unaware because we're so segregated. A lot of us are so segregated into our own sections that we don't know what goes on beyond. I'm just trying to tell you, this is not me caping for Corey. I'm just telling you that there are all types of comedians that make all types of comedy. And the darker it seems to be, it was seen to be the most daring, whoever could say the most crazy, most vile, that could be the most ruthless. Like, this is sort of like a badge in comedy, in certain types of comedy. These are not statements, right? These are not statements. I mean, we're in a very dangerous area when you're taking a comedian's words in a comedy setting. I can see if you put it in a memoir. I can see if you put it in a documentary, right? But if you put it on his show, if he was being interviewed at another show and he's there as a comedian, you can't take anything he says and say, that's him in real life. And then say, well, you're a comedian, but you can't joke like that. Nah, man, comedians joke like all types of shit. Comedians joke about, just like movies. That would be like, to tell a comedian that he can't joke about a particular topic would be like telling a film director he can't make a movie about a certain type of topic. You can't have a slasher film. You can't have an abduction film. You can't have, see what I'm saying? Just because you don't like Corey Holcomb, just because you disagree with what he said about Anton Daniels' wife or his daughter, just because you disagree about him doing like that to a woman, putting his hands on a woman outside of a club, doesn't mean you get to go back in time in old comedy routines and say, oh, he meant that. He did that. And that's what he is. That's what they did to Kevin Hart. He made a joke about if his son was gay, and they took away the Oscars from him because Currents were doing that to Kevin Hart. And in fact, there was a number of comedians that they did that too. But Corey's now saying he's gonna do something about it. And damn, man, the thing about it is, if you do it, the thing that gets me is there are people that do this for a living. They talk for a living, right? I'm a person that talks for a living, and I don't have a script. And I'll tell stories and I'll mention things. The fact that there are people that make content, and I understand you want to make money, man, but man, unless you got something more besides what he said while talking on the show, you got to have more than that. That's not evidence. That's not evidence of a crime, man. And honestly, man, I think he should pursue it if he can prove that he was damaged. And if you listen to Corey's language, it does seem like he's leaning into the, I'm damaged, my money's been hurt. Man, I think Corey's setting up people that are coming for him and putting them into a bucket that says, this person has damaged my livelihood. And if he's able to prove it by missing a couple of comedy gigs, if he's able to prove it, now I know you was bold, you said this, you said that, you believe it. I'm not talking about regular people that comment in the comment section. I'm saying if you're a content creator, you're saying that man sounds like a pedo, a PDF file, and you ain't really careful with the language, son, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. So anyway, let's keep going. Honestly, one of my main takeaways after when I did my follow-up video of Corey Holcomb, I wanted him to come out and initially say, look, what happened with me and D, that's on me, and make an apology to the public. Now, I'm disappointed he didn't do that coming right out, but let's keep going there. This is the beginning of the show. Let's see where it goes. They better get their lawyers ready, man, if they're putting that type of shit out about anybody being a PDF file without having, like, any type of evidence, yo. Like, you should be contacting authorities if you thought that. And if you can't prove that, and they haven't been convicted of that or even charged of that, and you're just saying it because somebody said something in the video and it was man.
Because they did this to Michael Jackson. They did this to Martin Luther King. They did this to Malcolm X. They did this to so many people. When they ready to come get you, they assassinate your character so people don't look at you as a human being.
I mean, I agree with you that people do that, but fam, fam, like putting yourself in the category of these people. I mean, I'm not saying you don't do some truth telling from time to time, but the I don't know, man. Iconic black leaders won't be talking about Backdoria and rejuvenating one's body parts. I'm just saying, Corey, man, come on, man. You're just putting yourself in a group that, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go that far, son.
They look at you as a villain. So they are using mass media now to come holler at your boy. This isn't little weak bloggers. Little weak bloggers have been talking crazy about me ever since I've been on air. But TMZ took a one-sided story of a woman who's addicted to drugs and quite dangerous. They showed a video recently where me and this woman got into it. And I can't hold back anymore. Listen, this woman was stalking me for a long time, and it was proven in court. And on top of that, I told people that this woman is a troublemaker and she sells drugs. TMZ knows that I have a restraining order against this woman and her boyfriend.
Man, I really don't want to hear this all over again, man. Damn it, man. I'm so tired of hearing about Christina Payne, man. She's becoming a celebrity off of failed lawsuit or getting a restraining order put on her and a reverse restraining order. I mean, this part right here is interesting, though.
So I've never heard of a woman getting hit or punched, whatever you want to say, and I get a restraining order against her. The story is not being told the right way. But I want to show you something about this innocent woman because they will make it seem like this woman is innocent. In fact, this lady went on TMZ, who is in collusion with her. Sean Holly, the drug addict woman, and TMZ are all in collusion together to try to bring me down. Let me show you a video because this woman even said in one of her TMZ videos, I'm not allowed at the Improv, but that's not true. This is the footage that goes in the security office of the Improv. It says Shrine of Crime right there. And we blotted out some of the people's faces because the truth is we don't want to show everybody, but I'm not banned from the Improv. But you know who is banned from the Improv? Right there.
See, this is sad. You know why, fam? This is bad because Corey Holcomb, people that rock with you or believe your story or at least believe that you're not the villain, you're not the devil, those people already made their mind up long ago. I don't think you're convincing anybody of anything. And trying to convince these people only is weighing down your show. This is why I was like, man, Corey needs to take a break for a couple weeks, at least a week, dog. And I know that's none of my damn business because who am I to say that? That's just my opinion. So, let some of this shit blow past, fam, and then decide if it's even worth responding to it. You know what I'm saying? Because clearer heads sometimes need to prevail, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not getting no new converts. People that think you're a scumbag have made their minds up. It would take Jesus himself to come back and to do a live stream with you. You know what I'm saying? For them to believe. I mean, I got people attacking me for not attacking you. I got people hitting me like, yo, what's wrong with you? You supposed to be riding for black people. What about Christina? You ain't riding for her. I'm like, well, I seen people get their ass kicked. That was not an ass kicking. If anything, Corey got jumped on Corey. You ever seen fights? I've seen fights. That's not a fight. That shit look petty as hell. What went on between them two? I don't know. But anyway, Corey, stop it. Just fucking stop. This needs to stop, fam. They don't care if she was they don't care if she lied about the Improv, bro. They don't care. They just don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care.
Right there. Right there. If she's seen up there, they are supposed to call the manager and the cops immediately. I'm not banned from the Improv. I don't have a criminal history. This woman stabbed everybody who called her innocent. I know what I'm doing. When a drug addict is talking crazy to me and following me, I'm telling you, I know what they do to people. In that video where I got into a skirmish with the dude that was her boyfriend, I don't know if you know this, I'm gonna say it. Since then, she stabbed that man and tried to accuse him of the R word. He now has a restraining order against her.
Of course, man. Of course, Corey. Of course. Of course, there was always more to the story. Just no one cared because, Corey, you've been coming for people on your show for so long. People just want you to go down. That's it. Let's just call it what it is, man. There are a lot of people that have been seeing Corey call out certain individuals, and they've just been waiting for the day for him to be taken down. And there are a lot of people that are making money off of this, and they're just, they just don't give a damn about your innocence or nothing. They just care about making a couple dollars or a lot of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got people doing 10 and 15 videos, Johnson, and then articulating the commentary as if they're supportive. And I mean, it's just crazy. They don't care. They don't care. It's painful to watch. It's painful to watch Corey Holcomb attempt to win over, to explain, to defend himself, take the people to court, and keep moving on with your show. And damn, yeah, I know it's easier to say than do. I've been in the same situation. I did exactly what Corey's doing. When I say same situation, when I had issues with the left and they were like saying all types of shit because I made verbal comments on my show, right, about people in the left media, and then all of them started saying these shit, I went ballistic. And instead of people supporting me, they came out, they did the same thing. Instead of supporting me, they came out with knives. It took me 5 years to get my shit right, to change my audience and say, you know what? At least with brothers and sisters, the same thing might happen, but at least I have some people on my side. But it was like the majority, like 90%, 80% of the white people that was with me, they all said, oh, this white people said you're like this? We like this one better than you, so they just, and it was what it was. So I said, you know what? Tim Black has always been black, so let me just stick with my content. So I know what Corey's going through. It's hard, man, to pull yourself back from defending yourself. But the best thing I ever did was decide it was not worth fighting accusations. It was not worth going back and forth. These people did not care. There were people that were itching to be top black leftist commentator in the country. That's what I was for several years. And they wanted that. They weren't public speakers. They never toured. All the shit that I did to get there, they never did any of it. But they wanted to be that. So look, man, Corey Holcomb, I don't have a right to tell you, man, I just wish you wouldn't have done this shit. That's all. I'm going to let it play a little bit more, family. Then I'm going to give my real commentary to wrap it up. But let's go. A little bit more, Johnson. I'm just saying, I understand where he's coming from.
She tried to get one against him. It was denied. She went to jail for stabbing that man. And it wasn't no let her out overnight, because they couldn't let her out overnight, because when you go to jail and you are high like that, they let you air out in the cell besides your crime. So everybody who saw that thing, innocent woman, no, Corey Holcomb was protecting himself and always will protect himself against drug addicts. Now, they have something online, once again, about this pedophile thing, and it's going too far. Yeah. So my lawyer said, you don't even have to really talk about that for real. But just make sure everybody knows this. I'm no pedophile. Never been accused before in my life of being a pedophile. I despise a pedophile. Anybody who would do anything physically, I think it's a person who sexually abuses children. Am I right with that?
Yeah,
that's what a pedophile is, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know, I ain't living like that. And I've never lived like that. But I understand the media firestorm that's happening to Corey Holcomb because, yo, these people know I have evidence against them that's going to bring them down, so they have to destroy my credibility first. They have to destroy my credibility like I'm a villain. But I want to say to TMZ, who I know is watching, I've already given the evidence to my lawyer and a few other people. So it's out of my hands. So if you guys want to come at me, there's nothing I can do. You know the case is coming. You know the case is coming. Sean Hawley, TMZ, and of course the drug addict woman. I mean, she has nothing to lose, so she'll do whatever you guys want her to do. She'll say whatever you guys want her to say. But my day in court is coming. And I don't even have time for court because I live a glorious life. I work and perform. It's just my voice got too powerful for some powerful people, and they're sending this media firestorm at me, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I showed everything I need to show because they said this is an innocent woman. This woman, since I had the incident with her, she stabbed a man.
Said that.
So all you guys who don't know what you're talking about is predictable because you have feeble minds. Now let's get to this next soft shit. And I ain't finna spend a lot of time on it. I'm gonna spend about 10 minutes on this. The cat Fruit Booty Button said something about me. And okay, yeah, I wear a dusty hat. I forgot all the stuff he said right now. Yeah, clothes dirty, no shape up, all that. Fruit Booty Buttons. Oh yeah, and I can't fight. Yeah, I can't fight. You didn't talk about the women you beat up. You act like I didn't even say that. I said you beat up women because it is a fact. You beat up women. TMZ is not after you because your voice isn't as powerful as mine. So you can come on and say whatever you want to say. You and the sissies and the scammer girl that's on your show. See, you couldn't get Melissa Ford to go along and laugh with you like you wanted. So you got this scammer girl who is all over the internet. If you do research on that girl on his show, she's a scammer. She takes people money and everything. You got to go, Mike? Okay.
All right. Okay, that's all of the Corey Holcomb clip I'm going to play. You know, I did watch the majority of the show. I did see where he talked about him and Dee. Dee spoke. She broke down, explaining some of her positions. And it seems like they've had a conversation between them two that's off camera where they've come to whatever. And also try to clear it up and say, well, you know, the whole thing about a T-shirt, that we were wrong, had nothing to do with Anton Daniels and his wife or his daughter. That's not the design that she didn't want to hold up. Fam, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, when you're in the middle of something like this, it's really hard to see it the way your viewers see it. And there are different types of viewers. There are people that have been rocking with 5150 since day one, who are going to feel a certain kind of way about this, and they believe what they believe. Maybe they do. And there are those who are not as connected to the show and not connected to you and Darlene. My thing was I was just defending what I felt was the right move for Corey Holcomb and for Darlene at the same time. It looks like they're still together. They're still rocking. I did feel that the chemistry was a little off last night. It did seem like it was a little forced, and Corey was trying to be a little nicer, and which is different. I don't know. They made some announcements about some things they want to do going forward. So there was a little bit of trying to turn the page and move forward and do some things that are more focused on building the community around the 5150 Nation and giving perks and incentives. And I thought that was innovative. I'll just say this, fam, look, I'm not a jury. I'm not a judge or no shit like that. I'm just somebody who enjoyed the show, enjoyed Corey's comedy over the years, and and if I rock with something, I rock with it, and I try to do that. I will say, I will reiterate. I just wish that Corey saw it. I want him to see it from the eyes of people that watch the show and just watch what we saw, what we felt. Some of us just felt that the chemistry. You don't need to ruin the chemistry between you and Darlene, but as they pointed out, they've gotten into it before. It never destroyed their friendship. They've been friends for 16 years. Mind your business, and I'm going to do that. Fam, nothing was solved. Nothing's going to be solved in this. It's just opinions. And it would take, I don't know what it would take for people to believe, opposite of what they already believe. At this point, it's pretty ingrained. People have pretty much come to their conclusions. They dug their heels in. I don't know whatever evidence that could come out that would change people's opinion. It is what it is. I just hope that everybody's cool. I hope that everybody is vindicated in the end and no one's reputation is destroyed. Corey Holcomb spent a long time building up his platform. I hope it stays intact. I hope that those people that made content that accused him of certain things, hope they just take it down and we're able to back out of that. Because there's no reason, you don't want to get tied up in litigation over something you were just repeating because someone else said it and you thought they had a point. And you weren't considering the legal ramifications of it. And I say one more thing, y'all. I remember when I had when Van Lathan came on the show, when I had Van Lathan on my show as a guest, and he basically asked me not to call out Democrats, particularly black Democrats. It was the way he put it. He didn't say it explicitly, but he made the implication that, it's not cool to call these people out. You know what I'm saying? And, I guess Corey is in a similar position because I think that's where all the drama's coming from because he's called people out so much over time that now people can just go to different platforms and call him out and watch his demise or what have you. I don't know, man. My point of calling out Democrats and calling out what I feel is detrimental activity to the black community, I think it's different. I believe it's on ethical ground. I must agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said today, oh, God, you keep putting out videos about Jasmine Crockett. She's like the most popular Democrat in the country. What else, and she running for Senate. What you want me to talk about? The weather, motherfucker? She all right. She'll be okay. I'm not disclosing anything that's not already out there. I haven't hired a detective to go through her garbage. You know what I'm saying? Or spy on her house or bug her computer or bug her, her Ring camera, no shit. I'm just talking about things that are already being talked about. But that's how protective people get. You understand what I'm saying? So I wish Corey the best. And frankly, fam, I just wish that this never happened. And I'd like to move forward and get out the way, all the way out the way. Cause I don't know, man. This shit is old. I feel like it's old. It's played out. Unfortunately, this is not over for them. And if it's going to be legal proceedings, that's going to keep going. I saw a video clip of the lead attorney trying to clear his name. So Corey done said some things that may put him in legal trouble with the attorney because he making allegations based on what he believed to be true about his lawyer. And now it turns out the lead attorney presents information that shows that Corey made wrongful statements, but I think that those were accidental wrongful statements. And I think I quit. I quit, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all think about Corey Holcomb. I already know what you think. Are y'all tired of this shit? I'm tired of it, fam. I have no inside information. I'm just reporting what's happening, and I just wish it didn't happen. It's good to see Darlene, Corey still doing this show. And I'd like to see them move forward and get back to being funny. Yeah, let's get back to being funny, man. Get back to being a show that made a brother laugh. That's all, man. That's it. Get back to that. I know you want to, instead of having to defend your character every week. That's not a comedy show. That's some other shit, All right. Next. Let's go to the next story, man. Look, man, I want to thank my 10 Black Wolfpack. These are the people that support this show, who ride with this show. I appreciate you for putting up with my craziness from time to time. But like I try to tell you, I'm mean, but I mean well. And we're going to continue to mean well and hit the powers that be in the head with the truth. I pride myself on punching up, not punching down. Right? So let's keep the trends going. I got people defending celebrities and me a bully. But you don't see what they're doing to the black community. You don't see that they're part of disrupting, destroying, and keeping black people under the boot of the system. And they ain't trying to buck the system, that they're just trying to get as much money as they can out of the system while they leave us in a worse condition as long as they get their paper. And you're defending that over brothers like me and sisters who stand up for us? And I'm not saying we perfect, but that's the goal here. Instead, you're going to defend these rich assholes? You're going to defend the people that are with the system, that come out every 4 years, every October, and go to a couple black churches, hug a couple babies, sing a couple hymns, and then go right back to selling us down a river? You defend that? Because you got a D on your damn party affiliation? That's what we're doing? It's crazy. Crazy. All right. The title of tonight's show is The Two-Party System, man. Why so many people are turning away from the two-party system? Because Democrats and Republicans are full of shit. That's why. And these Epstein situation right now that's happening is a perfect example, Johnson. I mean, Jesus Christ. What we have now, the accusations of cover-ups. And, of course, the Democrats are calling out Republicans, Department of Justice, and saying these names are redacted, and why are you redacting names? This doesn't make sense. And then it's like, hold on a second. I didn't see any pressure to put these fucking documents out. It's been 10 years. Biden sat in office for four long years, and you had no expediency. There was no urgency. There was nothing. Yes, I know Republicans ran on it. Democrats ran from it. And then now Republicans seem to be running from it to a large extent. So that's both sides of the bird doing the same thing. But since if you are with one party, you only see it one way. And my job, as best as as to the best degree that I can do this, is to see it both ways. And if I thought it was, if I thought it was just one party in trouble, one party a part of the bullshit, I'd say that, but that's not the case. Testifying today, and Jasmine Crockett was giving her the business, and Jamie Raskin and all these people, and it just looked like a train wreck. I'm not even going to waste your time playing that. That's not what this channel's about. This channel don't spend all day on Turning Point USA or on Epstein files. And I appreciate those that do. So now we can truly show what your content is, and the difference between your content, my content, and I want to differentiate myself. Because if America gave a shit about human trafficking, you know what we do? Know what we do? We spend more fighting human trafficking than we spend, on electric batteries or researching, how snails mate. I mean, family, we spend $10 billion, not even $10 billion. Look, America doesn't care about your kids, whether they're immigrants, undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them. Nobody cares about those kids. In fact, they care more about undocumented kids than they care about citizens who are human trafficked. You do understand this, right? Family, we gave Ukraine, we gave Israel, we gave Ukraine more money than we spent all year on to fight human trafficking. You understand what I'm saying? The money that we gave Ukraine is more than we spent all year on our human trafficking. Same thing with Israel. Fam, we do not care about kids. So this whole Epstein thing is all political. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is all political. As a country, we do not care. What we care about is what we spend money on. What you care about is what you expend. If you're in politics, what you care about is what you're willing to use your political capital for. Political capital, that means you can't stand for everything. So what you stand for matters because you can't be at all places at one time. No matter how good a person you are, no matter what your virtues are, right? You can only do but so much. So what you choose has to be important, right? That's what you become known for. Well, when it comes to a government, what a government spends money on, that's what matters. The fact that the U.S. government doesn't spend money on repairing, cleaning up the water, says something, right? The fact that the U.S. government doesn't spend a lot of money combating human trafficking, but they're a virtue signal with the Epstein files only because they think it hurts Trump. That's the only reason why. And the fact that we got people that can't get that, like that don't make sense to them, is crazy to me. It bothers me when it's media people that do it because they know it just like I know it. You know, they've been doing this. If you've been doing this for over a decade and you don't know what propaganda is, you have no clue. I hate when people try to pretend to be innocent. They want to pretend to everyone else that they're just naive. You're not naive. You're part of the shit. These media entities are part of the shit. Family, America doesn't care about your kids. They don't care about human trafficking. This is all virtue signaling bullshit. You better care about your kids. Black women are the #1 exploited human trafficked group in America. And you know what? All we hear about is these kids missing who are undocumented. No one even talks about it. So don't even waste my time forming your mouth to tell me. But instead, we could talk about Bad Bunny. Huh? We could talk about those poor kids at that detention center. The boy that was separated from his mom, his dad. You know how many times that happens in the hood? Where do kids go when their parents get locked up? Detention centers. Gladiator academies. Child meals. So people that are aware of these things, if they hadn't lost all hope and all belief in political parties before, they damn sure are losing it now. To those that are aware, as they see this whole thing unfold, I believe those people have come to the conclusion that these political parties mean us no good. They're both full of shit. Republican Party says they care about family values. Well, there's no value more, I say, true to a family than making sure the family members are safe and the children's innocence are protected. How could you defend an administration that wasn't on the same accord? To the Democratic Party, the virtue signals that they care so much about women. Why hasn't this been a priority in your administration when you were in office? Trump's only been here for 14 months. You had 4 fucking years. Where was it? And to the people that call me xenophobic because I care about my border, because I see what it's doing to Black Americans, as if I don't care about the employees that are employing those people, I do. But you can't employ them if they're not here. The scumbag corporations can't. So I got to pick my battles. But yeah, I don't support corporations that pay people off the books to drive down the cost of labor. But let's be real, Johnson. There's all this conversation about immigrant children gone missing. No talk about black women gone missing, black girls gone missing. And there's a black girl dad. Yeah. That hits me a certain kind of way. See, I don't have to explain why I got problems with the Democratic Party because it's all laid out there. All you got to do is be aware. If you're aware at all, you got problems with them. And why so many problems with them? Because they're the ones saying that they're fighting for it. They're the ones virtual signaling. They're the ones pretending that black people, that they have black people's backs. Meanwhile, they don't even give a shit that our black women and our black babies are gone missing in record numbers. But instead, I got to hear all day about the 32 undocumented immigrants who died in detention centers, ICE detention centers in 2025. Meanwhile, 200 U.S. citizens died in Texas in 2025 in their penal systems, but they didn't say shit. And that's just one state. So what I'm saying is, the problem is I know shit. I know things. I know I'm black. It doesn't seem like I do because I look like your cousin, but this is all I do. I get up every day and I look at stats and data. I comb through information. I know it may not appear that way to you, but I do. You know, I don't want to put on a suit like Tavis Smiley, right? I shouldn't have to do that for you to realize he might know a couple things. He may have read a couple things. This is not willy-nilly. I hate Democrats. Nah, I didn't come at this lightly, fam. It's the data. It's the facts. It's the truth. I hate both parties. Family. But I got to fight for my people the best way I can. You have another way of fighting for them. My problem is with people that aren't fighting at all want to dictate how I fight. Now get in and fight your fight. Get in and fight your fight. Do it your way. But see, we got people that aren't doing any type of fighting at all. They're just getting paid. They're not saying it on shit, except for their own wallets. The only thing they're fighting for is to make as much money as humanly possible, as if they could take that shit with them. And they're going to leave their kids right here in the hellhole. When they go to the upper room, they're going to leave their kids right here in the same shit. But they would have made a whole lot of money and had a very pretty casket. Oh, man. And so paying Bonnie, they pushed back about the redactions. Rich people, powerful people in powerful places got people covering their ass. What is new? All right, man, hit the like button. Hit the like button if you found anything interesting in that rant. But when looking at the parties and I'm realizing just how much people are being turned off by the parties on both sides, I feel good. Because awareness is causing people to react, and that's one step closer to creating new parties and new systems and making some changes. But people first have to become aware, right? It's a process. It's not an overnight situation. But I can tell you, I believe that there are a lot more people that are awake now, that are paying attention now, than there were just 5 years ago. And I know because I was here doing this. All right, guys, hit the share button if you're on X or Rumble or Truth Social or wherever you are. Let the algorithm know that you're watching the Tim Black Show, the most dangerous show in America. Can we get back to some clips now? I've been talking a lot. And I think we need some visual aids up in this mofo.
Next up with Tim Black.
The 180 Church tomorrow, I'm going to talk about why President Trump's post wasn't racist. This is my barber. This is G. Say what up to everybody, G.
Hey, what's happening?
I asked G a critical question that I know nobody out there is asking themselves is this question. How many people from the hood really even follow Truth Social? Have you thought about that? How many people from our communities really know? Now, G, did you see some post about Barack Obama?
No.
You see that? G, how many people here you cut that's black in the hood? Everybody, right?
Yeah, I cut a lot of people. A lot of black.
Did they say anything to you?
No conversation.
That's my point. It is a cruel game the Democrats are playing with black people. They are trying to make people think that the president is racist and the post is racist about a social media platform that black people don't even follow. That is horrible. And the only black people that are talking about this is privileged black people that don't even live around black people.
Absolutely.
Senator Tim Scott, all of these people out here, these so-called preachers and pastors, that one moment they're with the president, the next moment they're not. You know nothing about black people. You're not in a black community. I'm going to preach tomorrow about this subject.
Yo, man, come on. This guy, right? And see, this is the problem I have, man, with some of us. Family, it doesn't matter how many black people are on Truth Social. Doesn't matter. That's so much not the point. You are gaslighting and creating red herrings out this mofo. You gone fishing for red herrings. Shit that aren't the issue, like making the issue something totally different than what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? Family. It doesn't matter if two black people, if no black people on the platform. That's not what makes something racist or bigoted or stereotypical or whatever. It's the content. Not a lot of black people want to see. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. What's the name of that movie that came out in 1919 that depicted black people? That horrific movie. The title escapes me at the moment. But I know people in my comment section know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a movie that was the most viewed movie at the time. It set records. It was a movie that kind of ushered in the Klan. It gave the Klan a rebirth. And the president invited the people that made the movie to the White House. Damn, I thought I was going to come here and people were going to say it. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Birth of a Nation. That's it. I knew it, fam. Michael. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I appreciate you. And Derek, man. Oh, see what I'm saying? And Big, did I get Big T? Big Tino up in the building. Listen. Look, fam. It doesn't matter how many people saw it. Like, a lot of black people didn't see Birth of a Nation. I can't imagine us trying to rub together a couple coins to go see that movie when it came out in 1919. But it was still a racist-ass movie. So it doesn't matter how many people saw it. Why would you... See, look, man. Part of the problem is with both parties that I've seen that's the most glaring situation is both sides want you to be blindly nonsense that will take a piece of your soul away. This guy's got to ride so hard for Donald Trump, he has to deny reality. He can't just say, well, you know what, Trump should not have put that out. And if you're going to put out something and you say you didn't know because you didn't watch it all the way to the end, because there was nothing racist or even hinted at racism until the last 2 seconds of the clip. But Trump never apologized for it. So that means he's co-signing it. If you don't apologize for it, it's on purpose. And family, there was no context in which you have a clip that's put out by the president that shows the first half-black president and his black wife as apes. That is not racist or harken back to racist imagery. There's no way in which you can make that not be a reality. Now, you can say he didn't know. You can say it was inadvertent or whatever you want to say, fam. But you can't say it doesn't reek of racist overtones. And see, the Democrats do the same thing. They demand 100% fealty You have to give blood. You have to take an oath, basically a blood oath, to the Democratic Party, to kiss Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi's ass, to Robert Clyburn and the whole crew, to pretend that Jeffries, Mr. Robot. First of all, we must look at what has happened here and see that speaking is not my thing. Therefore, we will have to pretend that I am gifted, other than taking AIPAC money, because that's all Jeffries does. But see, in order to be a Democratic Party, to ride with the Democratic Party, you have to be willing to throw all of your ethics out the window and ride with them 100%. This shit is diabolical, fam. So when I say that the people are waking up, there are people that have, I think the Republicans have woken, or more awoke. I think the Republicans have really awakened more than Democrats, and I'll say that because of this. The fact that the Republican Party elected Trump 3 times shows they done with Republicans. Let me say that one more time. See, because a lot of people don't recognize this, I think. I think my people get it, but I think this is for the people that don't get it. Listen, fam. Trump ran against Republicans to be Trump, the president. Do you understand that? He ran against the pillars of the Republican Party in his primaries. Senators like Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, governors like Ted Cruz, Tim Scott. He ran against notable names like basically, what's the word for it? The dynasties of the Bush administration and Jeb Bush. He ran against them and destroyed them. He destroyed him. In order for him to come to power, he had to run through the field of Republican, standard issue Republicans. This to me signals that the Republican Party, the base of the Republican Party, at least the majority of it, were tired of Republican Party bullshit. You don't see that with the Democrats. Every person who's been nominated to be the standard bearer of the Democratic Party is the same old Democratic Party bullshit. They have not changed. Hillary was the same, more of the same. Biden was more of the same. And then Kamala, who was installed, was more of the same. They haven't had a transfer of power. They haven't had an overturning of the guard. There's been no shakeup in the Democratic Party. What, you mean the controlled opposition of this so-called squad? Oh, God. Ew. Yeah. Nah, man. So, real talk, the more revolutionary party is the Republican Party. You can say what you want to say, but when they decided they wanted to get rid of Bernie Sanders, the Democrats knew exactly what to do. It was like Digstown. Thumbs down, like Louis Gossett, whoever it was, James Wood, Louis Gossett. Go watch the movie Digstown when they show how you throw a fight, how fights are rigged. And what they did there in order to get Bernie off out of the paint, and then for him to coalesce and go right along with it, he went right along with it like a good old company guy. So he's a scumbag too, don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is, they show their true colors. The colors have never changed. They are still the same party they always were. So this preacher, this pastor, whatever he is, he don't mean the black community any good at all. Yeah, of course, a lot of black Americans don't know anything about, I'm sure, don't know anything about the cartoon, the meme, whatever this video was that was circulated on Truth Social that then went to X, as if it only stayed on one platform, goofy. It was posted initially on Truth Social. I didn't see it on Truth Social. I saw that shit on X. And I'm sure it was on Facebook. And I'm sure it was on TikTok. It was across social media. See what happens when you sit out here to lie, dancing for your biscuits. Can see what happens? But see, unlike some of these liberals and progressives and some of these revolutionaries, fake revolutionaries, I see dancing on both sides of the aisle. I see what Cory Booker does is tap dancing too. But until you can see Tim Scott's tap dancing and Cory Booker's tap dancing, you still don't know shit. You ain't figured it out yet. Until you see what Jasmine Crockett be on and what Marjorie Taylor Greene is on, until you see the self-serving nature of both of them, you ain't figured it out yet. You got some more watching to do. Nah, fam. To the people that think we give Trump too easy a go, no. It is undeniable to any person who's reasonable, who's been in the country, who's a foundational Black American at least. Maybe some people new to the country don't get it. That ape energy, that ape imagery is racist. And that's why that clip was there. And if it wasn't intended to be that way, Trump should have said so. That's it. Now let's keep going, guys. Hit the like button if that made sense to you. We're not defending anybody's nonsense up in here. In fact, that's not an audience that I want to create. I don't want an audience that wants me to defend Trump or defend the Democrats. What I will defend is truth. What I will defend is right and wrong the way I see it. That's what a commentator should do. But nah, not defend parties, man. Go to jointimblack.com to become a member of the show because I represent you. I don't represent parties. Both parties suck, Johnson. Take it how you want to take it. Now, where we at here, fam? Let's keep it moving.
Bad kind that enters your home without a warrant. My only problem with ICE is that they're going after every minority group except Black people. I mean, you're trying to reduce crime. You're just giving them more room to breathe. But I understand, can you imagine the shape you have to be in to deport Black people? Yeah, I'm actually training for the 3-gun competition right now.
Okay. Now, first things first here, Johnson. A lot of people who saw this clip, they're very pissed off at the clip, man, because, you know, racist. Like, who is this Asian guy up here talking this shit about Black Americans? Why is this guy doing that? You know, Asians, for the most part, been able to kind of stay out the way while the shit was going down with the Latinos and the Hispanics. Quiet as it's kept. Trump been kicking out a lot of Ukrainians, too. He's been letting the Afrikaners, he been letting them stay. You know, the friends of Elon from South Africa, he been letting them stay, but the Ukrainians been getting the boot. But anyway, no one cares about that because those people are white. We don't want to know about that shit. Gotta stay mad. But anyway, back to this dude. So I don't know why the Asian dude wanted to do this, man, but here's the thing, man. The reason why ICE is not going after Black Americans or foundational Black Americans is because we're not immigrants, dumbass. Yeah, that's the whole point. Thank you. Kim? I think his last name's Kim. Lucky guess. Yeah, but, yeah, we're not immigrants. That was sort of like my whole point with the whole Shabuzi thing. You know what I'm saying? Is that we're not immigrants. And so we can't be deported. And if they try to deport you, ching ching, motherfucker, you just hit the lottery. Because you should sue their ass. In fact, that may be the best thing that ever happened to you. If you're a foundational Black American is being held by ICE for an unreasonable amount of time so you could go pick up a bag. That'll be the worst week of your life, but it will pay you for the next 10 years. Now, I do want to point this out because, I love comedy, man. I'm a student of comedy. He was on a show called Tony, whatever. Kill Tony. And like part of the theme of the show, the roots of the show is that they say racist type, edgy type comedy, right? So they roasted the shit out of him with a bunch of Asian jokes. You don't know that if you just see this clip, but he got his ass fried up. And there was a black guy on the panel that tore his ass up. But you don't know that because it's a short clip, and that's why it's doing so well, because they love getting black Americans upset. Because we have the most open wound when it comes to race. So that's why so much of the content on the internet is geared towards bashing us, because we'll see it, we'll engage with it, which makes it very lucrative. If you make content that shits on Asians, they just ignore it. I mean, they won't engage with it to the same extent. They're not going to share it and say, look what they said about us. So that's part of the reason why we see so much of it, because America keeps eating off of our pain, Johnson. It pays so well. Get it? So this guy right here, I appreciate he did this, because unintentionally, he's actually supporting the argument that we've been making. And that argument is, we can't be deported, therefore we are not in the crosshairs of ICE. Therefore, sort of like the people that did not give a shit that we have been in the crosshairs of police for as long as police have been activated. In fact, police were created to return property to its owners. Who do you think the property was that was being stolen or was leaving? Black Americans, freedmen, or formerly enslaved ADOS. Or people that, formerly enslaved, those who escaped slavery. Those are the people that they were. So that's what police were invented to do, Johnson. That's where it came from. So all these people that, that are talking now about ICE, they have a very close, they only care about ICE because it impacts their community. Meanwhile, we've been in the mass incarcerated group, and we remain so. It's not an insensitivity, right? But put it this way, fam, if you haven't eaten for a month, and you're sitting over here, stomach growling, haven't eaten for a month, and somebody gets thrown into a cell next to you, and they haven't eaten for a day, and they're crying themselves to sleep, what would your response be? That's sort of how Black Americans feel about this whole mass incarceration thing, I'm just really compressing time here. And I'm saying this one day of discomfort that these undocumented people are feeling is nothing compared to this month-long trip through the wilderness that Black America has been on. Foundational Black American has been on. You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense to you? So it's not an insensitivity. It's like, get up. It's like, buckle up, Johnson. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to it. So maybe it's time for all these undocumented people and all the activisms, the Blue Bunny, the Black Bunny, whatever. Maybe it's time for them to dump a whole lot of money and go through their own civil rights era. Maybe riding off the backs of Black civil rights, maybe that's not going to work for you. Maybe you're going to have to do some bus boycotts. Yeah, maybe you're going to have to get, go through some trials and tribulations like Black America, foundational Black Americans did to get what you want. Maybe just saying all those people already did it. Maybe it's coming back to roost. Maybe now it's time to pay the piper, Maybe karma is now kicking some of you immigrants in the ass who did not respect all the shit that my mom and my dad went through, sitting on the backs of buses, raising their kids and wondering if they would have a shot at anything substantial compared to white folks. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe this is your time to stand up and go through it. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, that's the worst thing in the world, is maybe other people have to deal with what we have to deal with. I mean, it's not like they weren't totally compassionate to our struggle. They're the same ones that come over here and be model citizens, be the model minority while we struggle. And say shit like, I did it, why can't you? See, it's really difficult, fam, to keep demanding that Black Americans be saints. You know, I saw the movie Bag of Ants with Will Smith. He was that lucky, jolly-go-lucky helper to the whites or whatever, mystical creature, the magical Negro, whatever. You know, sort of like the Blue Mile, which is actually the Green Mile, right? The Green Mile. Really, it's truly about that young man. What's his name? Stein. Which actually is based on a horrific event that happened to a young Black boy. The Green Mile. But anyway, the point is, I'm getting off topic, fam. My bad. Maybe Black Americans don't have to be your magical Negroes. We're cool. Latinos. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not obligated. And we shouldn't have to continue to be like, oh, we should look above it. We should rise above it. We should, you know, I had that disagreement with Dr. Cornel West. Why is it you think that Black Americans have to be this, you know, benevolent, we're the moral, we're supposed to, you know, be, you know, look over things and be bigger than that. And we're supposed to, and that same rhetoric was coming out of that guy on TikTok, is that rice and peas. Black people, we should be able to overlook this. What am I supposed to do? Listen to these immigrants who shit on us. We should overlook, we should deny, we shouldn't even pay attention to that. What? So now Black people can't, somebody gonna be roasted us 24/7, making content, shitting on us, saying that we are bully catchers, that we don't work hard enough, that we are lazy, and have all these names, these racist names made up about us. You think we should not be? We're not supposed to feel a certain kind of way about that? Really? That's what conscious is to you? To be unconscious? To people that look like you, that use you to come here, that are benefiting from your pain and suffering from generation upon generation upon generation, and then to come here and shit on you and meld in with the system, and then kick sand in our faces, and what? And you think we're supposed to rise above, we're supposed to be better. Look, man. This Asian dude, he actually helped. I'm glad he made this content. I'm glad he said that on that show. I'm glad they clipped it out. I'm glad it's gone viral, because the rest of the world needs to understand that. And at least all of us Black Americans and all the foundational Black Americans need to take a longer look at that and realize, yeah, what, we can't get anything out of being here? For 400, 500 years, we can't get anything out of being here, out of being indigenous, those of us that were. We can't get anything out of that. You just think you're entitled to everything of ours. Our legacy, our struggle, our pain, gone through none of it, but are entitled to it. Well, boo-hoo. Fee, fi, fo, fum, motherfucker. Walk it off. $200 years of mass incarceration. You can't deal with 12 months. Out of here. All right, man. Going to jointimblack.com and find me on Patreon at patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Oh man, y'all done got me bold. I'm feeling a little aggressive now. Cause I think some people think shit's sweet. Now, everybody's not built like that to be a footstool, a doormat for others to come here and wipe their feet on while they step it up and go to the Ritz, go to Ruth Chris for a steak. I think you done got me fucked up, son. Let's keep going. We got more content here. Oh man, they about to sadly get awakening. Oh, they about to feel the pain.
Just like the American people in the comments, I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was. What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996. Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it. It's the easiest, oldest trick in the book. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the average intelligence of the American person. Because, come on. Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over crimes who've spanned decades, doesn't mean that every single person is an accomplice. He could be mentioned. He referenced Jay-Z once. He was like, oh, we could learn from Jay-Z's business model. Why are y'all, where's the crime? Focus.
What you talk about, Willis? Yeah, you're not making any sense, man. Kissing ass, though. Ain't nobody's above scrutiny. And what you in the comment section worried about people talking about Jay-Z for? Well, you want to be thankful and give you a what's happening here? How would you know what he's been doing? I mean, quiet as it's kept, man. Hey, look, man, I don't talk much about this, but hey, I think somebody's got to say it, Johnson. We got people out here acting dumb here. How can we say this? Hip-hop, various forms of hip-hop are very misogynistic. The roles, these gender roles are very much toxic. You know, I mean, are we going to be real? Can we be real here? I mean, you wouldn't give a shit if it was, you know, a rocker, hard rock artist or some shit. It was AC/DC. I don't even know if they're still here, but AC/DC or Rolling Stone shit that was in there. People were like, well, what's going on? Why is the Rolling Stone dude in this? You would be quiet. Because you wouldn't know what happened. You weren't there. You don't know what the purpose is. Yes, I know. This is somebody made an allegation on a tip line, and that's how the document got included in these files. This may or may not be something that's has any legs at all. But here's the deal, Johnson. I'm not going to absolve Jay-Z of a damn thing. The guy's had money for a long time. He's been popular for a long time. Look at what R. Kelly was doing. Look at what Harvey Weinstein was doing. Look at what the little guy that made the movies was doing. White people like him. I don't forget his name. But you know, the guy with the glasses, you know, these people, I don't know, didn't he marry like his wife's daughter or some shit? I mean, Roman Polanski ran out of the country because of what he was doing. I mean, fam, we got a culture in America that was predatory as hell against women, and that's been what it's been. And it's unfortunate we got people defending that shit. We're supposed to be trying to move past it, but I'm not going to take anything off the table with anybody. It's what it is. A comment section cannot condemn anybody of anything. It's not going to hold up in court. You know, but when you come out defending people that that you weren't with, now if you were a person that rocked with Jay-Z and if you were Memphis Bleak or people that recorded with Jay-Z or people that were associated with the Rock Nation, if you would Dame, Dash, then maybe then, okay. But weren't you somewhere else working at an IHOP or some shit? What would you know about this? I don't know, man. It's just, they say, man, sometimes when you protest too much, you kind of give up the story. You kind of give away the role that you're supposed to play. You know what I'm saying? You go too far. When you're defended, when you're the Avengers, the defenders or whatever. Nah, man, let that man defend himself. This is, if you are a billionaire, you're being accused, be upset about one of the first stories I did. I won't say first story, but I'll say the first couple years. I remember a white kid who was there. He was at a school event, a football game. And one of his friends, dared him to streak and run across the football field. And it was like a shout out to a movie called Old School. Remember Old School with Will Ferrell? It was a funny ass movie. So he takes his clothes off, he runs across the football field, and they tackle him and they kick him out of the stadium. Well, a weird thing happens when you run across the football field during a school assembly. Even if you're only in high school. There are kids in the stadium. Yeah. So this white kid who did a dare at his school, took his clothes off and ran across the football field, was charged with a sex crime because he was naked in front of children. They ruined his life. They took away his scholarship to go to college. And he had to register as a sex offender. Now, of all of this, the pressure of this on this young man, having ruined his life, he felt. He took his own life. Now, that's someone who you should have defended or should defend. Should. Not Jay-Z. Jay-Z's got lawyers for this shit. He got bots to combat shit in the comments section. Okay? But see, we never fight for the people that deserve fighting for. We never stand up for the underdogs. So it's just always trying to get your fucking voice in and try to show you're there. And remember that time, Jay-Z, I was right there. Remember me? Right here, reporting with duty, sir. Is any way you can throw a couple crumbs my way? Looking like Furley from fucking, from the Jeffersons with your fans. Mr. G, you need anything else, Mr. G? Anything else? Looking for a tip. Bunch of ass kissers. There are people that deserve, who are behind the eight ball, who don't have the resources to combat negative, unreasonable allegations. It happens all the time, fam. Whose lives are destroyed. And they're demanded to take plea bargains or face the full brunt of the law. Right? That happens. That's who you should be defending, but not you, Lizzo. You're right there hoping the multi-billionaire, the billionaire, to make sure he's going to be okay. Last thing we want him to do is have to spend money. Somebody get Lizzo the biggest hee-haw. And then give Charlamagne one too. And then give Joe Budden and the whole crew. Give all them hee-haws too. Y'all ready? Let's keep it moving.
Who Black History Month is actually for. Black History Month was created in the United States of America by a Black American for Black Americans. It was founded in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson. What he created was called Negro History Week. Not African History Week, not Global Black History Week, not Diaspora Month. Woodson wasn't trying to celebrate Blackness in general, he was responding to something specific. The erasure of Black Americans from American history. Not Caribbean history, not African history, American history. Black History Month is not about all Black people globally. It never was. That doesn't mean that other Black histories don't matter. It means that this one has a specific origin purpose and people attached to it. And when we flatten that, we lose the truth. So let me be clear. Black History Month is not exclusionary. It's precise. It exists to tell the story of people who were foundational to America, exploited by America, and denied fully belonging in America.
Okay, fam. Now do me a favor, fam. Everybody go look up diaspora theory on TikTok. At diaspora theory. I love the way she put this. It's not exclusionary, it's just specific. Yeah, specific. It was created for a particular purpose. Negroes. That's what Black Americans were considered. You know, Negroes. People in other countries have their own, history. I'm sure Nigerians have a Nigerian book, history book, tales, stories about Nigerians, Ghanaians, Congolese, Somali, whatever. Anybody from these countries have their own histories, but they're not considered Black histories, right? I hear all the time from various immigrants that when they didn't become Black until they came to America, that they were whatever, everybody there is the same skin tone. So that would have no purpose at all. But see, that's the whole purpose, that's the whole thing here about America, right? It's the Democrats that are pushing this shit. You do understand that. They're pushing this flat blackness. Who do you think pushing flat blackness helps, and who do you think it hurts? See, these are real conversations you won't have on mainstream media. You'll never have Don Lemon talk about how flat blackness does not benefit foundational Black Americans or American descendants of slavery or freedmen or whatever type of title you want to use for that. But you'll tell me you'll have someone like Godfrey who's so well-read and so astute who will praise Don Lemon, but Don Lemon won't say no business for foundational Black Americans or Black Americans. In fact, that's a topic that would never be broached. We got to fight ICE. But it's a very clear question. Who does it benefit? And that's the question you got to ask all the time. Who does it benefit to allow unchecked access, unmitigated access to our borders and people to come here and not have to have a ID to vote who do you think that benefits? Huh? Who do you think that benefits? So you got to do is ask that question. And the fact that we got to argue with people about an American holiday, a month designated, created by Black Americans for Black Americans, we got to argue about the purpose of it when you weren't even here? It's just an insulting. This shit is such an insult. They want our culture without having to pay any price for it. You know what? Pay us. All you immigrants get together, put together some money. You could buy us. You could buy your way into blackness. Yeah, you could buy your way into it. You want to be Black? Let's pay for it. You want to be a foundational Black American? Pony up. Yeah, Dr. Sandy Darity was on the show several times talking about the cost of reconciliation. Let's do some money. Let's break some bread, Johnson. Let's put your money where your mouth is. If that's what you really want, buy your way into blackness. Check my profile, you'll find a P.O. box and who you can send payment to. I'll take it. But until that time arrives, you're just who you are. Whoever the government dictates, whatever they call you, that's fine. But you are not that. We are not the same. Because our histories are not the same. Our legacies are not the same. And how dare you want it to be that way? The worst thing about it, fam, is these people got their own histories in their own lands. They have their own country. I know Atlanta is supposed to be the shit. It's not our country, Johnson. It just ain't. I know people call it the Black Mecca, but it's not the same as Ghana. Is it? I don't think it is. Yeah. Yeah, I remember on my wall when I was a kid, on my wall, I had pictures of all these iconic Black Americans on my wall. It was like a book. I think it was Jet. You could order this from Ebony or Jet. It was a set of pictures of different historical figures. Ralph Bunche comes to mind. Carver. Just a number of Black Americans. Anyway, fam. It is what it is. And it's, we did not create this system the way it was. You know, we did not define it. We're not the architects of what America became or our position in America. You understand what I'm saying? This is just the derivative, the result of what was hoisted upon us, and we happen to survive. That's all. Native Americans, they survived. There are hoops you have to jump through to prove yourself to be Native American of a certain tribe, don't you? I say, man, this is racist. It's some racist shit here, man. Because you don't get to just say, I'm Cherokee. I'm Chippewa. Nah, it'd be like, come here, sit down. Let me see this shit. Where's your paperwork? Let me look at this. Why we can't have, it's the fact that people think they can just pony up, run up, and change our history, and it's just crazy. And then make content offended because they're not included in it. I don't think you want to be included in the lynchings. I don't think your parents wanted to grow up sitting on the back of the bus, or a cop could just punch you in the mouth and not even write you a ticket, and people could just walk in your house and take what they wanted, including your children or your wife. I don't think you really want that type of equality with Black Americans or foundationally Black Americans. I don't think you want that from foundational Black Americans. I don't think that's something you just, I don't know, you just want to star in you just want to roll in the Wire. You want to be chosen for a role in Snowfall. You want to play opposite Sweeney in some movie, I don't know. You want to play the Black Charlie's Angel or some shit, I don't know. You want to do a Cynthia Erivo or whatever the fuck, I get it. But you don't want to do any of the other stuff that we had to do to be who we are. There's a line from Jack Nicholson. It's a crazy movie. In the movie Departed, where I think they were trying to take him down, and he's in this conversation with Matt Damon, and he says, I don't think you understand. A lot of people had to die for me to be who I am. I don't think you understand. A lot of our people had to die for us to be who we are. You ain't got to like it, but you're going to have to respect it. All right, fam, let's keep it moving, Johnson. We're still rolling. Well, I tell you, man, I feel like I'm on Mount. I'm about to start. I'm going to pass around the collection plate, Johnson. Hold on a second here. Look. Damn it. Yeah. Go to jointimberlake.com to become a member of the show. And then look, hit the like button or hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. It's free, and it helps the algorithm, I think. There's no guarantee because we don't know what the algorithm's going to algorithm, but it would be great if you do become a subscriber and cut on all your notifications. It's possible you will see me again. It's possible.
Bush administration has done nothing to control the problem that we had. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, the employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. And when we do those things, I believe that we can take the undocumented workers, the illegal aliens who are here, get them out of the shadows, make sure that they are subject to a stiff penalty, make sure that they're learning English, make sure that they go to the back of the line so they're not getting an advantage over people who came here legally. And when we do that, I think that we can, instead of shedding all this heat, start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's what I intend to do as President of the United States.
Goodness gracious, man. Look at Obama the racist. What a racist person this Obama is. God, he was so racist. Jesus. He won his primary, though, didn't he? You realize that was only, 19 years ago? That was Barack Obama running on. See his stance on immigration? And Hillary was just as bad, if not worse. Well, just as good, if not better. Depending on how you look at it. Yeah, all of the Democrats were racist this way. Just goes to show you how thick the propaganda is. This was the political positioning of the Democratic Party not even 20 years ago. And until, recently, it was considered pretty standard. In fact, Obama was criticizing George Bush because George Bush wasn't hard enough on undocumented immigrants, illegal crossings. That's what they were running on. They were running on Republicans are soft because Republicans want corporations to be able to hire these people so they can pay them less money on labor. Now, when I say it, when I stand on it, nobody understands what I'm talking about. Everybody's like, what's he talking? It's crazy. I got people trolling me for saying what Obama said 19 years ago. Well, it was racist when he was saying it. It was and it's racist now. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. That's what it is. Now, see what it is that the narrative has changed, and now the Democrats are in on exploiting labor. I mean, you heard it all the time. I mean, I hate to use your girl Jasmine Crockett as an example. What she keeps saying? What, you want to work? You want to work in the fields? You want to work in the farms? Is that what you're going to do? We send our children to college. Like 20% of black Americans get college degrees, like 20, 30%. That's just elitist shit. What about all the black Americans that don't get college degrees, Jasmine Crockett? She didn't give a shit about them. She knows they're going to have to compete with these people. What about all the blue-collar blacks? Non-existent. These people they don't even know who they are. These people do not matter to the Democratic Party. But they were very much up front, very publicly saying things like, we need somebody to pick the vegetables. Who's going to fold the sheets at the hotels? I don't know, fam. I don't know if you've been in small towns across America. All types of people work at hotels and in the service industry. Yeah, all types of folks work fast food. They used to. Once upon a time, like when I was coming out, I worked at a Roy Rogers. Mrs. Black worked at a Burger King. No, Roy Rogers went to the Roy Rogers too. We both work fast food. Now we can't even get those jobs. You know why? Grown-ass adults are doing those jobs. Yeah. Mostly immigrants. I'm just pointing out the audacity of these Democrats and these operatives and these Pan-Africanists who got a problem with a border. Yeah, but once upon a time, it was the Democrats shitting on Republicans for being too lax because they saw them exploitive in trying to displace the working class. And you know what? I've had people who told me that you know, that their parents, like white folks who watched the show, you know, whose parents left the Democratic Party for this reason. They say they're no longer the party of working class white people because they gave up. They like the reasons why a lot of working class white people stayed with the Democrats was because they had a understanding of defending workers. But if you allow a new underclass to come in and disrupt the economy and disrupt labor, that's not helpful to the working class. So that's how we have this sort of shifting where people are looking at what was considered the corporate wing. Republicans were supposed to be the corporate ass kissers. Then became the rise of neoliberalism, globalism, which actually did happen under Obama. Like, this started to switch. And we end up with what? We end up with Democrats who are more corporate than Republicans. Damn, who knew that would happen? Yeah. That's what it is. And we got people that go along with it. I don't go along with it. You know, I don't go along with it at all. So anyway, just a little something, not too, it's not history. It's too, I mean, something's got to be over 20 years old to be history. I mean, this shit just happened. He ran on this shit. It's right there. And now it's as if it's xenophobic to protect workers. It's xenophobic to have these stances. And now the Republicans have these stances, and they're called racist. The more you know. All right, family, let's keep it moving. We're almost done. You're watching the Tim Black Show, the most dangerous show in America. Why? Not because, you know, it's any crazy reason. But we're doing something that most shows don't do. We're standing on business. And we calling it straight. And when it's time to dump on a Republican, you do that because they don't support this show. They're not keeping the lights on here. We're not here for a Republican Party. And when it's time, we dump on the Democrats. Why? Because the Democratic Party doesn't fund this show. And we're not kissing their ass either. And that's a beautiful thing. Anybody can get it TV. Yeah. Y'all ready? Shout out to the Tim Black Wolfpack in the building, man. I know some of y'all in the comment section. If I look at the comment section while I'm doing the show, I get triggered, man. Because there'll be somebody trolling, then I respond, and like, you know, then I start sounding like Lizzo. I start going off in the comment section on some dumb shit. I gotta stop doing that. Damn, I'm hungry, Johnson. I didn't eat anything today. Yeah, I'm on a mission. I have to focus on this content publishing. Y'all ready, fam? Let's do it. Yeah, fam. Yeah. Where we at?
Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles.
Hey, look now. Now that right there. I just thought that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I mean, I give props where it's due. You may not be a pedophile, but it looks like you are very close friends to a lot of men who are pedophiles. Which reminds me, I got a new sound I wanted to put in there. Where's that sound I had out? Me and Mrs. Black have been watching. We've been watching a little bit of The Walking Dead, and this is something. This is one of the.
And you want to get burned by molten metal? Because that's exactly how you get burned by molten metal. You want to get burned by molten metal? Because that's exactly how you get burned by molten metal.
Yeah, that's something from The Walking Dead. I was Eugene from The Walking Dead there. Do you want to get burned by molten metal? Because that's exactly how you get burned by molten metal. It's sort of the same type of cadence that Jasmine Crockett had there with old Donald Trump. Yeah. Hey, look, man, I'm not defending Donald Trump, man. If he needs to answer questions. Anybody there should be able to answer questions. Why are you in a... Now, if it's an anonymous tip line bullshit, just say, hey, ain't got nothing to do with this. This is garbage, you know? Y'all ready, fam? Funny. That's funny. Somebody's getting burnt by molten metal.
You said, quote, I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left. That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No. It's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms. Really, what's kind of the harshest? What's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, "Oh, blue sky. It's blue sky." And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names. Some names I won't repeat on TV. But the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering it. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life? Just really, like, I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die, literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent, in that community online.
Yeah. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Yeah, family, you didn't know this is how they roll, John Fetterman? That's crazy, John Fetterman. Yeah, man, I lived it, man. These people are atrocious, man. You saw the clip. I showed the clip where the ICE agent, what the trans person, the white trans lady called the ICE agent, right? Called him an N-word. A house N-word. And then they all said it, they were saying it in unison. Like they called him that like 4 or 5 times. It wasn't just that one person. The others were saying it too. Because he's doing the job. Because black people cannot do police work. Yeah, they're supposed to fight for. See what I'm saying? We're supposed to fight for undocumented people. We're supposed to fight for them to stay in the country. It's crazy. So yeah, I've been on the wrong side of that, the receiving end of that shit, man. Yeah, man. I'm still. The last thing the Democrats want is for black people to have their own agency, to have their own belief system. Like they cannot imagine that I no longer want to rock with them. Like it's unimaginable. Oh, how could you possibly? You betrayed us. Huh? It's just a belief system. It's just policies. I never agreed with the gun policy. I've been vocal, right? I never believed in abolished police. Never believed in that because I've lived places where you need someone to call. Reform the police, and even saying that got me dragged across Twitter. Though most of the people that were saying that I was crazy and a sellout for saying we should be saying abolish the police didn't live in neighborhoods where police were important. I remember when somebody tried to break into my mother's home, and yeah, when things happen, you know what I'm saying? When things happen, black people, some people need people to call. I'm not saying it's always good. I'm not saying it always works out well. In fact, I would say don't call the cops if you have any recourse, you have anybody else to call. Call Ghostbusters. You know what I'm saying? Call a doctor, call Uber, call a cab, call a cousin. But sometimes you gotta call the cops. But I'm just saying, there's like no room for dissent. It's like no room, and maybe, I don't know, man, the Republicans do the same thing. I don't know. See, so Fetterman can't really make a direct apples to apples comparison because he's not a Republican. But I bet if he turned on the Republicans, like, look, I don't rock with y'all on this, and this, Republicans would probably come for your ass too. So Republicans that are coming at Fetterman, they don't feel betrayed by Fetterman because they never rocked with Fetterman. You know what I'm saying? And the Democrats was like, I helped you run. Because I remember how I felt about Fetterman when he was like, I like Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin. You were like a Joe Manchin motherfucker. I was like, what the hell? You weren't like that when you ran and was taking money. But anyway, people change. I just want to point out that whenever I hear these liberals and progressives talking about how racist Republicans are, I'm always got a little, I got the Mr. Furley face. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Because I remember how progressives treated me and how racist they were. Yeah, I remember those things. I'm like po folk. Hey, y'all, look at this. Because I seen it. I seen him. Oh, I seen you. Yeah. So anyway, guys, my name is Tim Black. You're tuning into the Tim Black Show. We do this Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man, for rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. Let's go to the comment section, see what the Tim Black Wolfpack is up to, man. Yo, let's see if we can do this. Let's get that out the way. Who's in the building, man? Who that is? Wow, I just watched The Departed on Prime 2 days ago. Great movie. Damn, that's crazy, right? Yo. Can we talk about the upcoming elections? You know what, family? I have not been following them closely. Yeah, I'm just, I would have to get my knowledge back up as far as what the races are. Now, I will make some predictions. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe Monday. So tomorrow, my guest is Dr. Musa Abdullah. We have the Beyond Talking Point segment tomorrow. I don't know, man. I can start prepping for these elections because you're right. I know they're all coming up. Something to consider, fam. Black Mamba's in the house. Buck Bewley's in the house somewhere. Is Ebony in the building? Ali, what's Ali saying, fam? What changed? Oh, no. Who's this? It's funny how he could believe that but the entire position is to let them all in. But now their entire position is to let them all in. Oh, Obama. Well, you know what? I think the demographics, in order for the Democratic Party to be a viable party, they had to change because black people kind of going the other way, fam. So I think the softening. Look. I was looking at some stats. Thank you, Rashada. I was looking at some stats, right? It's like Democrats lost 20 points with Black America just within the last 4 years, I think it is. Like, I think Biden was at 79 and then Kamala fell. I forget the numbers, man. But there was a drop off of black support for the Democratic Party in the last couple of elections. And, you know, I don't think it's so much about Trump. I think it was lack of energizing or lack of support or being invigorated about the Democratic Party as a whole. I think that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? And I think having a ghost or having a president, Biden, in office that people thought was, you know, weekend at Bernie's, you know what I'm saying? That didn't help the Democrats at all. So I think that's part of it, fam. But they're doing what's politically viable. Like their position against the Republicans and Obama calling out immigration, right? They took that position because they didn't want to agree with the Republicans, I believe. So they had a position that was different from the Republicans. I don't even know if they believed it, but they wanted to be an opposing. And that's pretty much what you get from Democrats and Republicans. If the Democrats are on one side of an issue, Republicans automatically pivot to the other side of the issue. Yeah. That's sort of what happens. So that's what changed, fam. I think that's Jocelyn. Jocelyn said the same thing. What's changed? I think that's all that changed. I think the influx of immigrants have made their number one constituency become Latinos, and Black Americans are cooling off to the Democratic Party. It's just so long that you can lie to people and do a carrot and say, chase the carrot, you know what I'm saying? And don't worry, we're going to do some police reform, you know? And meanwhile, Black people are like, what's up with the economics? They're like, hold on, we be right with you. Be right with you. What y'all want over here? Y'all want something else? Oh, here goes some ABT cards. Here goes a place to stay. Here goes some keys to a couple businesses you can open up. Okay, what you want again? What about the economics? Okay, we right with you. What are you looking for? Jewish person, Israeli person? What can need some money? Here you go. There you go, okay. There you go. Hope everything's fine. All right, I'm sorry. What were you wanting, Black people? We was talking about money in our schools and our poverty and our suicide rate and our overdose rate. Oh, well, hold on a second, I'll be right there. Yes, Ukrainians? Yes, Ukrainians, how are you? Oh, great. Good to see you too, man. Look, take some money, you know, and when you need more money, come holler at us. We'll do our best to hook you up. Woo! All right, where were we? And Black America's like, Democrats. I don't want nothing, Democrats. I'm done with you. Tired of you. Treat me like a second class. Hold on a second. You need something else? Oh, ice. Oh, shit. Hey, look, everybody, we need to get out of here up there with this ice shit. Black people, stop being selfish. We need you to come on, put on your boots. Let's go out of here and help the immigrants. Come on. Come on. Come on. Jesus Christ. So self-centered. We need to get out of here and help Jorge and Maria. Damn it. Let's go it. Jump to it. Front lines. Front lines. And that, my friends, is what has changed. Some Black Americans got tired of the bullshit. And what a beautiful thing that happened on the internet is that those Black Americans that weren't tired of it have become tired of it because they are consuming content that gives them information. And from that information, they form their own conclusions. Look, us influencers online, I mean, you know, we don't tell people what to believe. We tell you what we believe, right? We don't have any influence. Not really. You can't change someone's opinion. They change it for themselves. And what's been happening is giving information, people looking at what's going on in the world, they've been forming their own opinions. They want to blame Tariq Nasheed for FBA. They want to blame Yvette Carnell for ADOS. Not too long ago, they were blaming Black Lives Matter for Black identity extremists. There's Black people that were identifying themselves extremely. Well, in reality, what it is it's just people being disgusted with the current condition and situation of Black Americans in the country who demand more. So it's not us. We're not making people wake up. People are waking up because the situation is so shitty. Yeah, people that are happy and things are going well, you know, they're not upset. Yeah, when you're Jay-Z and Beyonce, when you're doing well, why would you want anything to change? It's the people that aren't doing well. And so many people are not doing well. We got Black Americans who never rebounded from the housing crisis. You understand it? We got people that lost their homes in 2008, 2009, who never got their houses back. We got businesses, Black businesses that closed down during the pandemic that never reopened. Never reopened. More Black businesses closed down during COVID and never reopened than any other group in America, Black businesses. So when people say what changed, I think one of the things changes, we had it up to here. Up to here. Instead of having a solution for that, you know what we get? We get blamed for having or feeling like we're tired of the bullshit. Yeah. So that's what's changed. Look, man. We're getting somewhere. Let's keep up the good fight. B1 and FBA. My name is Tim Black. Thank you for being here. You know how to contact me. Tim@TimBlackTV.com is how you send me story ideas. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., my guest, Dr. Musa Abdullah, educator. My brother's going to be here. We're going to talk it up, chop it up. I got number love for you. Remember, stay courageous, stay bold, but most of all, stay dangerous. I got number love for you. All right? Let's ride. It ain't going to be easy, but so what? What is? It ain't about what we do now for us, it's what we do for the future, right? It's about legacy. Legacy. We all need to be in touch with our mortality because we're not going to be here forever. What we do now is lay the groundwork, the foundation for the next generation. Now, everybody's got reasons for doing what they do. Everyone has reasons for doing what they do. I got reasons for doing what I do. Right? Here goes several of those reasons. I love you. I'll see you on the next one.